For a driver, there's no better way to enjoy a weekend than bombing through farmland in a roadster. Chances are, the roadster you'll see most out here is the Mazda Miata, simply because the MX-5 Miata is far and away the best-selling roadster in history. They've sold nearly 1 million cars since it was introduced back in 1989. And since the Miata has proven to be extremely reliable, most of those cars are still on the road or in garages around the world. By the third generation, shown here, Mazda's little roadster had grown both in size, weight, and comfort. It was still a great little roadster, but truth be told, I preferred the 1989 model's pluckiness to the 2014 edition's comfort. And it appears I'm not alone. Many Miata buyers have chosen to hold on to their older Miatas rather than trade up, and that has caused a problem for Mazda. For the fourth generation car, Mazda really needed to shake things up. And shake things up they did. Say hello to the 2016 Mazda MX-5 Miata. It's lighter, smaller, and faster than any previous Miata.
We try to put together a really fundamentally good platform.
It's amazing. It's something that you cannot quantify on paper. It's something you have to drive to really understand and to really experience and to really appreciate.
There's a lot of pressure on us to make sure we get it right. And I think there's so many different teams working all around the world on this car in parallel, and getting everybody synced up so we're moving toward the same thing, especially when it's a subtle, soft target of feeling right to the driver.
So how do they do that? Well, the wheelbase is actually wider, but the front to back is actually shorter. The overhangs are significantly smaller than the older car. They also put the driver's seat lower. They put me further back. They gave me a better driving position that is more central in the car, and they managed to maintain a near perfect 50-50 weight balance with a driver. That puts the moment of inertia and everything that happens in the car right around me as the driver. And that is what you want when you're driving a sports car.
Really, where are the pinch points when you're trying to put a driver in the right driving position in a package this small? There's standard sort of SAE measurements for interior volume, and the first thing we had to do is sort of ignore those because they're in sort of set, fixed positions that aren't necessarily relevant. You have to look at how the driver actually fits in this car and where are we running into problems with bigger drivers in the car.
And they actually did a really good job of minimizing the amount of cabin noise in this car. I'm actually really surprised. This headliner here is actually all soft now and it's insulated, and there's no bars hitting my head. The old one used to have bars. And in fact, I have more headroom in this Miata than any other Miata. This is actually really cool. I just realized that. I could wear a helmet in this car with the top up. I've never been able to say that about a Miata.
Again, it comes down to looking at the details. Instead of just, hey, it's really noisy in here, throw a bunch of insulation in. You got to look at, well, where is that noise coming from and how can we stop it at its source?
Let's talk power. It doesn't have a ton of it. It's 155 horsepower with 148 pound-feet of torque. Now that is out of a 2-liter Mazda Skyactiv engine. It's the same motor in the Mazda 3 as well as in the new CX-3. But it has been tuned differently here. It also has aluminum cylinder heads so that it actually looks really nice when you look under the hood. Again, like a proper sports car should. How does Mazda get good performance out of what is relatively a low amount of horsepower and torque? Well, this new Miata weighs about as much as a first generation with the safety equipment. That's huge. So how do they do that? Well, they took weight wherever they could.
We've got a really strict weight target on this car because really the magic of how it drives comes from it being really light and simple.
It was a gram strategy, a little here, a little there, a little here, a little there, and they ended up with a car that is remarkably light. So what benefits in a light sports car? Well, everything. Everything is better when a sports car is lighter. It can brake quicker, it can turn quicker, it can accelerate quicker, and you don't need as much horsepower to make it happen. This transmission, they say it's all new, but it is all amazing. It's a 6-speed manual. Now you can get this car in an automatic, and that's okay. Some people honestly need an automatic. All transmissions are good for the right people. This manual, however, is great. It's a 6-speed, reverses off the first, and it's just snick, 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 snick. And it's not the same transmission that was in the previous generation car. They actually redesigned this so that it is lighter and more direct feeling. This new Miata starts about $25,000. That's if you buy the entry-level sport model. The one we have here is called the GT, or Grand Touring, and it's about $31,000 depending on how you configure it. The one that I like the best though is the Club, and the Club is unique because it's basically like a track day special.
People see this car, some people see this as a pure sports car, as a driving machine, as you go out to take it to the track. And for some people it's a fun weekend convertible, you're gonna go drive down PCH, and so we kind of made different models for those different people. And the GT is more of the going down to PCH and enjoying the car sort of in your more everyday life kind of thing. It's a little bit softer, more comfortable, and has more of the luxury features. Whereas the Club has everything you need to drive faster and no unnecessary nonsense. So it's as light as it could be while still having all of the good stuff like a limited slip diff and the Bilstein shocks and a little bit stiffer springs. And it's still a very kind of comfortable everyday car because we always keep the suspension kind of supple so it can handle well on a twisty road.
Check this out. Bam, bam, bam. Convertible. Now let's just say that it's gonna start raining. Oh no, gotta get the top up. Well, I don't have to stop and fumble around with buttons and wait 20 seconds for the top to go up. I just simply pull this lever here, grab this here, pull it up here, bam, done, one hand.
So has Mazda finally succeeded in creating a Miata that's worth the upgrade over every other version of the car? Yes, absolutely. Every single detail of this new Miata has been thought and rethought to create a driving experience that is one of the best you can buy at any price. But how will this new model age?
We did have sort of a 25-year vision for the car when we were developing the thing to make sure that the decisions we're making now aren't gonna be weird when it's a 20-year-old car. We wanted to make sure that this car really is going to still make sense when it's old.
Unfortunately, at the end of the day, I did have to give the keys back to Mazda, but it wasn't without a tinge of regret. Will I personally buy one of these new Miatas? I don't think the question is if, it's probably when. I'm Ryan Douthit for Driving Sports TV. Thanks for watching.